What's going on, everybody? We're here with the INCOLOR SSR. This has been the frame that I've been waiting for about 4 months. I am extremely excited. We're going to be talking about the brand INCOLOR a little bit, my Hyperbike build, everything that went into me deciding why I wanted to choose this frame. And we're going to get all the ins and outs and just dig deep into all this, because this is something that I've been really excited about for a while. I already talked to you all about the wheel set, the reserve wheels that I plan on using for this whole build, and now the frame has arrived. It's been with me for about 2 weeks now, and I've just been looking at it and waiting on parts, but now I got everything I need. And before I build it up, I wanted to just shed some light on the INCOLOR brand, what they're doing, talk a little bit about the engineering and the design of the frame. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so there are lots of brands out there who are making some killer bikes. You got Cervelo S5, you got the Colnago Y1RS. INCOLOR is a brand out of China. They started out doing as a design studio, painting a lot of frames for a lot of Western brands as well. I won't be able to get into all the nuts and bolts of who those brands are. You can find out on the internet to verify all that, so take what I say as a grain of salt in terms of that. But they transitioned into manufacturing their own frames and engineering them. Starting out with the SR and then the SR Plus. And this here is the Big Daddy Cane. This is the iteration of that, the grandfather, if you will, of those two frames. A lot of design and engineering that went into this frame. What I like about it is the frontal area. So if you come to the front here, you'll see that this is very narrow. And the whole idea with INCOLOR, what they wanted to do with this frame was being able to minimize this frontal area. This is 34 millimeters wide. I'm gonna pull out the caliper in just a little bit so I can get you the numbers. You can see that. And it has a bayonet style fork. I'm gonna take this apart as well so you can also see what the guts look like inside. Another thing what they wanted to do was set up an ISP design on here as well. That's gonna bring down the weight a lot for the aero bikes. A lot of aero frames out there from manufacturers are quite heavy. I believe the INCOLOR SSR, they have a different colors that add weight to the frame. So this is the mercury color. This is gonna be their heaviest paint color. I'm not concerned about weight, to be honest with you, because I feel like you can compensate that with parts that you buy, whether it's the wheel set and other components around the bike. But I love this color scheme. I love how it's a beautiful gloss. And what you see in the video is not gonna give it enough justice, but just the way the paint, the silver came out and the way it blends into a nice monochromatic, almost like brown tone in the back here to give you that mercury color. It's just a beautiful paint job. It does have an ISP, which is integrated seat post, and that might turn a lot of people off, but this is another area that they wanted to minimize. And this is also really narrow. This is like 15 millimeters. I'm gonna verify that with the caliper in just a little bit, but it's very narrow in here. And again, what INCOLOR was trying to do with this frame was to be able to slice through the wind. And I'm really excited about that. I watched an entire video on this bike when they were at the Shanghai bike show and spent a lot of time, spent hours. I am a bike geek. You know me if you watch my channel. Like, I nerd out on bikes. I love bikes. I love building bikes. I love everything there is to know about bikes. And I really got in a rabbit hole with INCOLOR and trying to find and unpack as much information as I can to be able to understand what they're doing. And the China market, they're doing a lot of different things that a lot of the Western market isn't doing. One thing for sure is their engineering. They took this not only from CDA, of where like they use computerized technology, software, to minimizing that frontal area. You can see here on the head tube angle, you can see there's a bayonet style fork. I'm gonna dive into what that looks like. I'm gonna take this apart so you can just kind of see what the guts of this whole thing looks like. But this whole area here is 34 millimeters. And the whole idea about aerodynamics and getting that top end speed is being able to minimize the frontal area on a road bike. So if you're able to do that, then you can successfully slice through the wind. They also brought it to the Silverstone wind tunnel, spent hours in there verifying those numbers to make sure that this was a frame set that's going to be fast and aerodynamic. And everything checked out. Everything checked out. It ticked all my boxes. I want to chat through some of the other parts of the design. For instance, one thing is the fork. really wide fork here. It's very narrow as well, which is a beautiful design. I just love the way the top part of the fork is nice and round here. And then you have the seat tube angle over here, which is beautiful in this wheelbase area here. I love how the seat tube angle comes down, and then you can see the gussets here. Just the curves and the lines is just done very well. And I just love the ISP and the narrowness of it, the 15 millimeter, and just how, you know, it's the perfect setup. The bottom bracket area as well. This is an asymmetrical bottom bracket, so you're gonna need a T47A bottom bracket for this style. A lot of frames manufacturers are doing that these days. Another great thing about this frame, that a lot of other frames don't have, is that this can fit up to 38C tires. So that's a pretty big deal for those who want a bit more comfort during their rides. You can fit up to a 38C tire in here. You also have UDH, so you can put, you know, a SRAM UDH derailleur on here if you'd like, UDH hanger, and, you know, mount your Shimano or whatever derailleur you plan on putting on here. But really, really digging this frame. I waited quite some time for it and was very patient throughout the process, but it gave me an opportunity to select the different parts that I plan on putting on here. So what I want to do now is take off the fork, and I want to just show you how the cables get routed through here, and so you can get a closer look at that. So let's go ahead and jump into that next. All right, so we're gonna just go ahead and take off the front stem. This is the proprietary cap that protects underneath the stem that hides all the cable routing. And these are the spacers that it comes with. These are like these nice 3D printed 5mm spacers. So this here is the top cap that is proprietary to the frame. So this is where they protect everything. This is where everything pretty much comes together. This little bayonet style fork here in the center is where your front brake routes through. So if we undo this, this is where we take it off, and you'll be able to see the bearings. These are really small bearings. And there's also a limit screw in here. I don't have it installed just yet because I am still building this frame out, and I'm gonna be putting that on today. But there is a limit screw in here, and I wouldn't be able to take out the bearing unless this is removed. So whenever you put that in, you just wanna make sure that you use like some blue 242 Loctite so that that doesn't move around or you know, wiggle while you're riding, going over bumps. You don't want that to loosen up. So definitely use some Loctite for that bolt. And then I'm gonna take this out quickly. And this is the fork design here. You can see it's a bayonet style. It comes with a little rubber piece here that protects the front end of the frame, the head tube area, from any knocks from the corners here of the fork. Because I imagine, you know, you want to protect that area. And interesting design for the fork though, right? And this is where your rear brake cable routes through. So it's gonna come from the down tube here, out through the caliper, and then it's gonna root up and then come up here. And then that's how it works. And it comes out through here, So yeah, I have to still look at the instructions on how to like root everything up. But INCOLOR, they came with instructions. They are in Chinese. You can probably use, you know, Claude or ChatGPT to convert that into English, which I had already did actually. So I should be good to go. But I know how to build bikes, so I'm not gonna have any issues with like routing cables and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit this down. I'm gonna just go ahead and show you the bearings. And then we're gonna weigh this frame. I wanna show you what it weighs without the fork on and everything. And then we'll weigh it again with the fork and the handlebars. Let's pull this out. Really small bearings here. They're both the same size, top and bottom. Whereas on a lot of other frames, you won't find them being the same size. So these are the bearings here. All right, so in terms of kilograms, just the frame set alone, we are at 1 kilogram, you can say, 1.01 kilogram. So that's like roughly 2 pounds, in fact. That is 2.23 pounds. So that's what we're looking at with the frame set alone. I want to get the fork on it, and we'll also mount up the bars as well, and we'll get a total weight for that. But this is looking pretty good, relatively lightweight, I'd say, for a frame set that's aerodynamic like this. This is with the handlebar. We got 1.91 kilograms. And if we put that into pounds, that is 4.22 pounds. And this is with the handlebars. You got the titanium hardware. You got the stem mount that comes with it for your computer. And with the UDH hanger in the back as well, fork, all that good stuff. I did chop off 4 mils off of here, but honestly, 4 millimeters off of like a C-tube angle is not gonna be anything. So that's what we're looking at in terms of weight. All right, so in terms of options, paint colors. Everyone wants their own paint color. You can do a customized paint if you'd like. It's gonna cost you a bit more money, but the stock colors we have here is the Mercury. It also comes in a black, matte black color, which is one of their lighter colors. You'll also be able to get the red, nice red, candy red color option, which is pretty sweet. And then it also has a marble, which is a nice white color frame. Almost got the marble, but I really like the way this one looked. In terms of the parts, it comes with a lot of different things. First off, the frame fork, the fork design, and then we have the handlebars. These are 375 mil by 400 with a 120 millimeter stem. It also has 20 millimeters of rise, of upward rise here. So that's gonna be really nice and comfortable, especially when you wanna get aero. It'll put you a little bit higher. That way you can tuck your elbows downward into your, into your aero position and all that. But lots of different color options, and of course sizes. They have an array of sizes and customizable sizes as well. Like I said before, if you want to give them your fit numbers, they can customize a mold for you. I believe it's gonna take a lot longer, but you'll have a customized frame to your liking. It also has the UDH hanger it comes with. I put this on. You can put a standard one on as well. And what's cool about it, it comes with its own routing cable tools. So you'll get that in the package as well. It's too bad I couldn't do an unboxing. I got a little excited when the frame arrived, and I just like a kid on Christmas morning, just like busting out all the wrapping paper, and I ripped open the box. So unfortunately, you're not gonna get that part, but that's what comes with it. A few other things too. You get the instructions, manual. It is in Chinese. You might want to use ChatGPT or Claude to convert that into English. I converted mine to English, so I'll have that as a reference. But if you know how to build bikes, it shouldn't be too hard to put this thing together. So, okay, so why did I choose the INCOLOR SSR? First thing is the engineering behind the whole frame, and being that it's ran from an organization that I would say INCOLOR's pretty much kind of an underdog, I'd say, here in the Western market. A lot of people don't know about INCOLOR, but they will, whether it's through this video or through others, as we shed light through their design. But the CEO who runs the brand, who started this whole INCOLOR design studio and transitioning it into a manufacturing of their own frames, is a rider as well. He's a cyclist. I remember him talking about during his talk when they launched the INCOLOR SSR, him talking about how he did a huge ride. I forgot where it was, and how he was riding the bike and his experiences with the bike, which was really interesting to me. It resonated with me, and just how much engineering and thought went into this frame is a lot of what other brands in the Western market don't really talk about. You see it and hear about it through magazines. You may hear about it in videos from YouTubers, influencers, and things like that. But from a brand's perspective, for him to talk about his frame, it just reminded me of like Steve Jobs hopping on stage doing, a keynote, talking about a new launch for a product, and it was really interesting to just hear more about how they went into the engineering on it and everything. I could have gotten an SS5, I could have gotten a Y1RS maybe, but the price point for those frames and the quality ratio, to me, I just felt like wasn't worth it. Those frames are well over $6,000. Y1RS is upward, I wanna say $7,000 to $8,000 for that frame. I bought this with my own money. I'm not sponsored by them at all. I'm not sponsored by INCOLOR. The frame does retail, it's pretty expensive. It does retail for $4,000. So I did highlight a lot of the design elements as to why I chose this frame as well. But I mean, this is just unlike any other frame I've seen, You're combining an ISP integrated seat post with an aero frame. That's gonna help control the weight. You're also putting a 34mm head tube on here, which is also minimizing that frontal area. You know, a lot of frames are different. They can't do that for an aero frame, you know? So that's very unique. The fork is also very unique, where it's not just a bayonet style, but it's a standard fork here, the actual fork tube, that goes into another tube here. Whereas a lot of other bayonet style forks use a steel bolt that mounts between the top and bottom of the head tube. So other elements here in the rear of the frame that really stand out to me in terms of the triangle here and the seat stays and chain stay area and everything. So yeah, I really dig this frame. By design, really attractive to me. By engineering and the story behind INCOLOR, it was also really attractive to me as well. So that's one of the reasons why I chose this, and I'm really excited to make this my #1 bike that's gonna be sliced into the wind, which you'll be seeing in a later video once I get all the components on this thing. If you wanna check this frame out, I purchased this from pandapodium.com. Check their website out. They have a lot of other bikes there from China as well. They have a whole fleet of INCOLOR available. Just know that the lead time is gonna take a while for you to get this frame. It's very sought after as well out there in China and other parts of the world. So just when you order the frame from Pandapodium, just know that you're in good hands, and it will take you some time to get that frame set. So don't expect it right away. Maybe look into getting other components to build up your custom bike while you're waiting for it. All right, everyone, so there you have it. This is my overview of the INCOLOR SSR in Mercury 58cm frame. Love this bike. I can't wait to ride it. There's a lot in store. If you all have any questions about it, drop them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I have a playlist called Hyperbike Build on the channel as well, which has all the components that I'm gonna be pouring into this frame. I have the reserve wheels up there, so check those out. I did a review on that as well, a little overview. But yeah, I have another video. I'm gonna be coming down the pike with this one here once I get all the parts packed on here, put in several miles on it as well. Several, probably over hundreds of miles on this thing before I even talk about it. So, but looking forward to it all. So I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.